Listen up. You say you're tired? You say you need rest? Let me tell you something real. You're not tired. You're just comfortable. Comfort is the real enemy when people say they're tired. What they often mean is that they feel stuck. They feel drained. But more often than not, what they are really experiencing is the weight of comfort holding them back. Silent thief that steals your potential and changes you to a mediocre. It's not physical exhaustion that drains you. It's the numbness that comes from settling for less than what you're capable of. Think about it. How many times have you felt tired after scrolling through social media for hours? Or after binge watching a show that didn't challenge your mind or spirit? That tiredness isn't real. It's a symptom of being trapped in a cycle of ease where nothing pushes you to grow, improve, or even think deeply. Comfort puts you in a state of complacency, and complacency is the enemy of progress. The problem with comfort is that it disguises itself as peace. It feels safe, warm, and familiar, and because of that, most people mistake it for a good thing. But comfort is a double-edged sword. Yes, it reduces immediate stress and struggle, but it also diminishes drive, ambition, and hunger. It lulls you into a false sense of security where you stop striving for more. When you're comfortable, you're not pushing your limits. You're not expanding your horizons. You're not growing into the person you were meant to be. The truth is, comfort is the place where dreams go to die. It's where motivation fades because there's no challenge left to conquer. It's the place where people say, I'll start tomorrow, I'm too tired now, or I don't feel ready. Comfort convinces you that the status quo is enough, and as a result, it numbs your ambition and blunts your edge. Look at the lives of those who have achieved extraordinary things. What do they all have in common? They embrace discomfort. They face uncertainty and hardship head on. They chose to grow even when it was inconvenient or painful. They understood that comfort is a trap and the path to greatness lies outside of it. Every major breakthrough, every moment of success came from pushing beyond comfort's boundaries. Comfort doesn't just stop at physical ease. It also impacts your mindset. When you're comfortable, your brain settles into familiar thought patterns. You avoid taking risks or trying new things because it feels easier to stay in what you know. But that's a trap. Staying in your comfort zone means your mind stops expanding. You become resistant to change, to challenge, to anything that might disrupt the peace, even if that disruption is what you need to grow. Another thing about comfort is that it breeds excuses. When you're comfortable, you find reasons to justify staying where you are. I'm too tired. I'm too busy. It's not the right time. These are all excuses comfort feeds you to keep you from pushing yourself. It's easier to blame outside circumstances than to face the discomfort of pushing harder, working longer, or stepping into the unknown. Comfort also dulls your sense of urgency. When you feel too safe, you lose the hunger that drives action. Without hunger, your goals become distant dreams instead of immediate priority. You start telling yourself that there's always more time, that you can always do it later. But comfort tricks you into believing you have unlimited time, when in reality, time is the one resource you can't get back. In addition, comfort affects your emotional and mental resilience. When life throws challenges your way, if you've been living comfortably, you haven't built the strength to face adversity. You don't have the mental toughness or emotional endurance to push through pain or setbacks because you've avoided discomfort for so long. This makes any challenge feel overwhelming, reinforcing the urge to retreat back to comfort. The cycle is vicious. You avoid discomfort. You get comfortable, you lose resilience. Then when challenges come, you feel tired and overwhelmed. So you retreat even further into comfort. That's why people often say they feel tired, even though they haven't done anything physically demanding. Their minds and spirits are exhausted from the constant avoidance of discomfort. Comfort might look like rest, but it's actually stagnation. It's a pause button on your potential. It's the lull before regret. You might think you're gaining peace by choosing comfort, but what you're really doing is giving up on becoming who you're truly capable of being. The enemy is not your body needing rest. It's your mind choosing ease over effort. The enemy is the silent, steady grip of comfort that keeps you from reaching higher, working harder, and living fully. When you recognize comfort as the enemy, you start to see your tiredness differently. It's no longer a reason to stop, but a signal that you need to shake things up. You're not tired. You're stuck. And getting stuck means it's time to get uncomfortable, to push beyond the easy safe zone. to disrupt the cycle of complacency before it disrupts your life. Comfort is the enemy because it kills your ambition, your hunger, and your willingness to fight for what matters. It's the invisible chain that keeps you in place while the world moves forward. To win, to grow, to become more, you have to break free from comfort's grip. Growth comes from discomfort. Growth is never found in a place where everything feels easy. If you want to become stronger, smarter, or better at anything, you have to step into discomfort. Discomfort is the furnace where transformation happens. It's the fire that melts away old limitations and shapes you into someone new. Without discomfort, growth stalls, progress halts, and you remain stuck in the same spot. Think about the human body. When you work out, your muscles tear and break down under stress. That process isn't comfortable. It's painful, but it's necessary. The pain signals your body to repair and rebuild stronger than before. If you only stayed in your comfort zone, never pushing your muscles, you wouldn't see progress. You wouldn't get stronger or fitter. The same principle applies to your mind and spirit. Learning new skills, breaking bad habits, or pursuing big goals all require you to face challenges that are uncomfortable. When you start something new, you feel awkward, unsure, maybe even scared. Your brain resists the unfamiliar because it craves safety and routine. But this resistance is proof that you're on the right path. Growth happens when you force yourself through that resistance. Discomfort shakes you out of complacency. It forces you to focus, to adapt, and to find new ways of thinking and acting. When you're comfortable, you repeat the same patterns day after day, and your life becomes predictable. Growth requires breaking those patterns, trying things you haven't tried before, and facing uncertainty head on. That uncertainty triggers discomfort, but it's the discomfort that tells you you're growing. Another way discomfort drives growth is by teaching resilience. When things get tough and you feel like quitting, pushing through that discomfort builds mental toughness. Every time you choose to endure difficulty instead of retreating, you increase your capacity to handle future challenges. This resilience doesn't develop in easy moments. It's forged in struggle. Discomfort also expands your awareness. When you face challenges or put yourself in new situations, you learn more about yourself and the world around you. You discover strengths you didn't know you had and weaknesses you need to improve. This self-awareness is a critical part of growth because it allows you to make better decisions and set higher goals. Many people avoid discomfort because it's painful and unfamiliar. They rather stick to what they know, even if it's not helping them grow. But comfort zones are prisons in disguise. They keep you safe from risk, but also keep you from achieving your full potential. To grow, you must be willing to step outside those walls and face discomfort regularly. The process of growth through discomfort is often messy. It doesn't happen in a straight line. You'll experience setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. These are all part of the journey. When you embrace discomfort, you learn that failure isn't the end, it's feedback. It's an opportunity to adjust, improve, and keep moving forward. Discomfort also challenges your beliefs and assumptions. When you grow, your old ways of thinking might no longer serve you. You have to confront limiting beliefs, fears, and doubts that keep you small. This mental discomfort can be some of the hardest to face, but is necessary for real transformation. The people who achieve the most success understand that growth requires ongoing discomfort. They don't seek comfort, they seek challenge. They look for opportunities to stretch themselves and learn. They welcome the struggles because they know those struggles are shaping them into who they need to become. In every area of life, whether it's career, relationships, health, or personal development, growth is tied to how well you handle discomfort. The more you can tolerate and even embrace discomfort, the faster and farther you will grow. This is why the most successful people often say their biggest breakthroughs came after the hardest times. Discomfort can take many forms: physical strain, emotional pain, mental stress, or social awkwardness, but all of it serves the same purpose: growth. When you lean into that discomfort instead of avoiding it, you open the door to new possibilities. You break old habits, build new skills, and expand your capacity for success. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it leads to stagnation. Discomfort feels hard in the moment, but it leads to progress. The choice is clear, even if it's not easy. If you want to grow, you must be willing to get uncomfortable, to challenge yourself beyond what feels safe or easy. Discomfort is a signpost on the path to greatness. It means you're stretching, learning, and evolving. It means you're not settling for what you are today. You're working toward what you can become tomorrow. Without discomfort, there's no growth. Without growth, there's no transformation. Stop confusing boredom with burnout. Many people say they're tired, worn out, or burnt out. But what they're really experiencing is boredom disguised as exhaustion. This confusion is common because boredom and burnout can feel similar on the surface. Both make you want to stop. Both drain your energy and both affect your motivation. But they come from very different places, and understanding the difference is crucial to breaking free from that cycle of feeling tired when you're not actually physically or mentally depleted. Burnout is a real condition, often caused by prolonged stress, excessive workload, or emotional strain. It's a serious state of mental and emotional and sometimes physical exhaustion that can leave you feeling helpless and unable to function at your best. When you're burnt out, your energy is truly drained because you pushed yourself beyond healthy limits without rest or recovery. Boredom, on the other hand, comes from a lack of engagement and stimulation. It's a signal that what you're doing doesn't excite you, challenge you, or inspire you anymore. Boredom is often the result of being stuck in repetitive routines, doing tasks that don't matter to you, or living a life that lacks meaning and purpose. It's not about having no energy. It's about having no motivation or drive because nothing feels important or urgent. And nothing feels important or urgent. The danger lies in mistaking boredom for burnout. When you confuse the two, you respond incorrectly. If you think you're burnt out, you'll try to rest or take a break, which can be helpful if the problem is true exhaustion. But if what you really feel is boredom, rest might only make things worse. When you rest from boredom, your mind tends to wander and feel even more restless. You might feel even more drained because you haven't addressed the root cause, a lack of meaningful challenge or purpose. Many people settle into boredom because it's easier than facing the discomfort of change or growth. Boredom is a kind of dull pain, a low-grade dissatisfaction that creeps in when you're not fully invested in your life or work. It creates a fog that makes everything seem meaningless and leaves you feeling tired, even though you haven't truly exerted yourself. Boredom can also lead to unhealthy habits that mimic burnout symptoms. You might find yourself procrastinating, avoiding responsibilities, or turning to distractions like social media, junk food, or mindless entertainment to fill the void. These habits make you feel temporarily better, but ultimately drain your energy and cloud your focus, reinforcing the cycle of feeling tired without being productive. Another key difference is that boredom kills creativity and enthusiasm, while burnout often makes you feel overwhelmed and anxious. Boredom makes you numb, disconnected from your passions and goals. Burnout makes you feel like you're drowning under pressure. Recognizing these emotional cues is important so you can address your true state. Understanding the source of your tiredness also helps you take the right action. If you're truly burnt out, you need rest, recovery, and perhaps a shift in workload or boundaries. But if you're bored, you need a challenge, a purpose, or a new direction to reignite your passion and energy. Boredom calls for movement, curiosity, and growth, not just rest. People who confuse boredom with burnout often remain stuck, complaining about being tired while doing very little to change their circumstances. They might say, "I'm so exhausted," but their daily routines haven't changed and they haven't introduced anything new or meaningful into their lives. This mismatch creates frustration and disappointment because the real solution lies in stepping outside comfort and embracing something new. When you recognize boredom as the root cause, you can start to break the cycle by injecting purpose into your day. Purpose creates energy. Challenge creates focus. Meaning creates motivation. These are the antidotes to boredom disguised as tiredness. It's also important to understand that boredom isn't a permanent state. It's a signal, a wake-up call that you need to shift your mindset or actions. You don't have to live in monotony. You can seek out new experiences, set fresh goals, or develop skills that excite you. Even small changes in routine can help break the fog and restore clarity and drive. Boredom is a test of your willingness to engage with life. It's easy to retreat and pretend you're tired, but real growth requires you to face the dullness head on and push beyond it. When you do, you replace boredom with curiosity, energy, and enthusiasm. Your tiredness fades because you're no longer stuck in a cycle of disengagement. In summary, recognizing the difference between boredom and burnout is essential for maintaining your energy and motivation. Stop confusing the two because how you respond depends on which one you're actually facing. Address boredom with challenge and purpose and handle burnout with rest and boundaries. Only then can you truly move forward instead of feeling tired for all the wrong reasons. Dreams require relentless effort. Having a dream is the starting point, but it's not where the journey ends. Dreams don't come true by chance or by simply wishing. They require relentless effort day in and day out. The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is often not talent or luck, but the willingness to put in the hard work even when it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, or discouraging. Relentless effort means showing up consistently regardless of how you feel. Motivation fluctuates. It comes and goes like waves, but effort is a choice you make every single day. You might not feel inspired every morning. You might face setbacks or doubts, but relentless effort means you keep pushing forward anyway. It means grinding through the tough days when quitting seems easier. Most people underestimate the grind. They see the highlight reels of success and think it happened overnight or without struggle. But behind every success story is a mountain of work, sacrifice, and persistence. Dreams are not handed to you. They're earned through countless hours of effort, often when no one is watching. The secret is not just working hard. It's working hard when it's hardest to do so. Relentless effort also means embracing failure as part of the process. When you're chasing a big dream, you will fail. You will fall short. But giving up because of failure means surrendering your dreams. Instead, relentless effort is about learning from failure, adjusting your approach, and coming back stronger. It's about refusing to let setbacks define your story. Effort is a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. The more you push yourself, the more capable you become of handling bigger challenges. This is why discipline is key. Discipline isn't about motivation. It's about creating habits and routines that keep you moving forward regardless of your mood or circumstances. When you build discipline, relentless effort becomes a natural part of your daily life. Another crucial aspect of relentless effort is patience. Big dreams rarely materialize overnight. It takes time, persistence, and a willingness to endure the grind without immediate results. People who give up too soon never experience the breakthrough that comes just beyond the point where most quit. Patience combined with consistent effort is the secret weapon that turns dreams into reality. Relentless effort also demands sacrifice. It means saying no to distractions, temptations, and short-term pleasures that pull you away from your goals. It means prioritizing your dream above comfort and convenience. This sacrifice is often invisible to others, but it's the foundation of every success story. If you're not willing to give something up, you can't fully commit to what you want. Effort is also fueled by belief. You must believe in your dream enough to keep working for it, even when results aren't immediate. This belief fuels your perseverance, helping you push through the hard times. Without belief, effort fades and dreams remain distant wishes. The path to your dream will test you in every way, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Relentless effort means showing resilience through all of these tests. It means being willing to face fear, doubt, and discomfort head on and continuing to work when others will quit. It means putting in the work even when it feels like progress is slow or invisible. It's important to recognize that relentless effort isn't about perfection. You don't have to be perfect to keep going. You just have to be willing to do the work, learn from mistakes, and improve over time. Progress, no matter how small, moves you closer to your dream. Relentless effort also builds confidence. Every step forward, every challenge overcome, strengthens your belief that you can achieve what you set out to do. This confidence creates momentum, making it easier to keep pushing forward. Ultimately, dreams require relentless effort because success is not a destination. It's a journey. The journey demands work, sacrifice, patience, resilience, and belief. Those who succeed are the ones who show up every day and give their all, even when no one else is watching or cheering them on. Relentless effort is the engine that drives dreams to reality. Commitment over talent. When people look at success, they often assume it's all about talent, the natural gifts or abilities someone is born with. While talent can give a head start, it's commitment that determines how far you go. Asama. Commitment outweighs talent every time because talent without commitment is wasted potential. You can be the most gifted person in the world, but if you're not committed, you won't reach your full capacity or achieve lasting success. Commitment means dedicating yourself fully to your goals, no matter what challenges come your way. It's about showing up consistently, putting in the work, and refusing to quit when things get tough. Talent might get you noticed at first, but commitment keeps you moving forward when the initial excitement fades. It's the difference between a fleeting spark and a lasting flame. Many talented people fail to reach their potential because they lack commitment. They rely on their natural ability and expect success to come easily. When obstacles arise, they give up or settle for less because they haven't developed the grit and perseverance needed to push through difficulties. Commitment is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who fade away. Commitment is not a one-time decision. It's a daily choice. Every morning you decide whether to work toward your goal or to take the easy way out. It's in these small decisions that commitment is built. Over time, those choices compound, creating momentum and progress. Without consistent commitment, talent alone will not carry you through the long journey to success. Another important aspect of commitment is accountability. When you commit, you hold yourself responsible for your actions and outcomes. You don't make excuses or blame circumstances. Instead, you take ownership of your progress and setbacks. This mindset empowers you to learn from mistakes and keep moving forward, strengthening your resolve. Commitment also means embracing the grind, the repetitive, sometimes boring work that most people avoid. Success is rarely glamorous. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and hard work day after day. Commitment pushes you to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, and even when no one is watching. Talent doesn't motivate you to show up on tough days. Commitment does. There's a saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. This highlights how critical commitment is. Someone with less talent but more commitment will often outperform a naturally gifted person who lacks discipline. Commitment builds skills, sharpens abilities, and develops resilience that talent alone cannot provide. Commitment also fuels perseverance. When faced with failure, rejection, or criticism, it's commitment that keeps you going. Talent may get discouraged when things don't come easily, but commitment drives you to learn, adapt, and try again. The ability to persist through setbacks is one of the most important factors in achieving long-term success. Moreover, commitment helps you stay focused. In a world full of distractions, it's easy to lose sight of your goals. But when you're truly committed, your priorities become clear. You eliminate distractions and dedicate your time and energy to what matters most. This focus accelerates progress and minimizes wasted effort. Commitment doesn't mean you won't face doubts or fears. It means you acknowledge those feelings but keep moving forward anyway. It means having the courage to face uncertainty and the patience to work through challenges. Commitment is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Another key element is that commitment often inspires others. When people see your dedication, they're more likely to support you, believe in your vision, and join your journey. Commitment creates a ripple effect that can open doors and create opportunities that talent alone might never unlock. Commitment is also deeply tied to purpose. When your why is strong, your commitment grows stronger. Purpose fuels passion, and passion fuels relentless effort. Without commitment, purpose remains just a good idea or a wish. With commitment, purpose becomes action, and action leads to results. Finally, commitment builds character. It teaches discipline, patience, resilience, and humility. These qualities are essential not just for success, but for meaningful, fulfilling achievement. Talent can open doors, but commitment walks you through them and helps you stay inside long enough to thrive. In summary, talent may be the starting point, but commitment is the journey's engine. Commitment transforms potential into performance, dreams into reality, and effort into success. It's the unwavering dedication to your goals that ultimately defines how far you will go. Break the habit of overthinking. One of the biggest obstacles standing between you and your progress is overthinking. It's that mental trap where your mind gets caught up in endless what ifs, doubts, and second guessing. Overthinking creates paralysis. It stops you from taking action because you're stuck in your head, trying to predict every outcome or avoid every possible mistake. The truth is, overthinking rarely leads to clarity or better decisions. Instead, it breeds anxiety, fear, and procrastination. When you overthink, you're giving power to your doubts and fears rather than your confidence and courage. You convince yourself you need more information, more preparation, or more certainty before you can move forward. But the reality is, no one ever has 100% certainty. Waiting for perfect conditions is a recipe for never starting at all. Overthinking also robs you of valuable time and energy. Instead of channeling your focus into action, you expend mental resources on scenarios that may never happen. Your brain becomes exhausted from this constant cycle of worry and rumination, leaving you feeling drained and overwhelmed. This fatigue then gets mistaken for genuine tiredness or lack of motivation, when in fact, it's your mind stuck spinning in place. The cycle of overthinking can be hard to break because it often masquerades as careful planning or thoughtful consideration. You might tell yourself, I'm just being thorough, or I want to make the best decision possible. While thoughtful planning is important, overthinking takes it too far, becomes a barrier rather than a tool. It stops you from trusting yourself and your ability to handle challenges as they arise. One reason overthinking happens is fear of failure. You get caught up imagining worst-case scenarios and the embarrassment, loss, or pain that could come with making the wrong choice. But here's the truth. Failure is not only inevitable on the path to success, it's necessary. Every successful person has failed multiple times. What sets them apart is their ability to act despite the fear, learn from failure, and keep moving forward. Breaking the habit of overthinking requires shifting your mindset from perfectionism to progress. Instead of trying to make the perfect move, focus on making the next move. Action creates momentum. Movement breaks the mental cycle and builds confidence. The more you act, the more you learn, and the clearer your path becomes. Another strategy to combat overthinking is setting limits. Give yourself a deadline or a time frame to make decisions. When the time is up, commit to your choice and move forward. This forces you to rely on your intuition and judgment instead of endless analysis. Trusting yourself more builds self-confidence and reduces anxiety. It's also important to embrace uncertainty. The future is always uncertain, no matter how much you plan. Accepting this fact frees you from the illusion of control and allows you to take risks. Growth and opportunity live in uncertainty, so leaning into it instead of fearing it opens the door to new possibilities. Mindfulness and grounding techniques can help calm the restless mind that fuels overthinking. Practices like meditation, deep breathing, or journaling can bring your focus back to the present moment and reduce mental noise. When your mind is calm, you're less likely to get stuck in loops of doubt and worry. Taking imperfect action also helps train your brain to move past overthinking. You don't have to have all the answers or be 100% ready. You just need to start. Small steps forward, even if imperfect, build habits and create positive feedback loops. Over time, these actions accumulate into real progress. Remember, progress is not about flawless execution, but consistent effort. Overthinking often convinces you that one misstep will ruin everything. But in reality, most mistakes are minor and fixable. Don't let fear of error keep you stuck. Instead, view mistakes as learning opportunities and keep pushing forward. Finally, surround yourself with people who encourage action and positive risk-taking. Having accountability partners or mentors can help you break the cycle of overthinking by providing perspective and support. Sometimes simply sharing your concerns out loud reduces their power and gives you clarity. In essence, breaking the habit of overthinking is about reclaiming your power to act. It's about quieting the endless mental chatter and trusting yourself enough to move forward despite uncertainty. When you stop overthinking, you free yourself to live fully, take risks, and grow into the person you're capable of becoming.